tonight, the city of Pineville held their first city council meeting of the new year. Our own Jay McCulley was there. Jay, were there any new developments?
Johnny, the city is looking to move forward after scandalous headlines loomed over the city involving former Pineville Mayor Rich Dupree being involved in an extramarital affair with a city employee. The city is looking to settle the equal employment opportunity complaint filed by Brittany Post and Michelle. But before that, the city auditor has some shocking things to say about the former mayor's handling of the city's finances.
In the audit, they have now found other things. By my calculations, off the top of my head sitting here tonight, we're more than $200,000 in the hole because of Mr. Dupree's actions.
Longtime Pineville resident Eddie Lashney is not happy with the findings of City Auditor Stephen McKay's audit report. McKay says he spent a lot of time investigating transactions that had to do with former Pineville Mayor Rich Dupree and former Chief of Staff Doug Gann.
Mentioned employee was paid for services outside of employment. These services entailed having an animated character show up to perform for several city events. However, checks written to this business were written to several different parties during the year, which appeared to us to be attempts to circumvent the related party issues. In addition, the frequency of using this service and the price charged for this service increased during the year, and after the employee's tenure ended, were not utilized anymore, which would call into question whether the service was needed at all. In addition, the city paid the previous mayor's son's band for several performances during the year, and no member of the accounting department was aware of the previous mayor's relationship with either party. The city could also not provide evidence these transactions were done at an arm's length.
Lashney brought his concerns about this to the council.
Do any of you intend to pursue recouping our losses?
City Attorney Mark Villar addressed Lashney's concern, saying that the mismanagement of city funds has been turned over to the next level of authorities.
Being that it's been turned over, it's going to depend on, in part, on those results, and in point on whether or not the items that have been brought to light equate to an opportunity to do that. At this point, it's just way too early to tell and too hard to determine that right now.
Lashney says he wants those funds back in the city's budget.
It is my money, it is your money, it is every other taxpayer citizen in the city of Pineville's money that was used inappropriately. You should not be able to do this inappropriately and simply walk away with it.
Next up on the agenda was to address a settlement in regard to the EEOC complaint filed by Brittany Post and Michelle. Michelle filed the claim in May of 2024 and alleges she was discriminated against and constructively discharged from her job.
We recently conducted a mediation with Ms. Michelle and her attorneys and came to a tentative resolution which requires the city to appropriate and pay to Ms. Michelle and her attorneys the sum of $188,500. In exchange for payment of this amount, Ms. Michelle will release all claims of any type against the city and its current and former employees.
Villar says under federal law, the city is vicariously liable and responsible for paying damages incurred as a result of the actions of its employees. Under federal law, the employee themselves are not responsible. This means the residents of Pineville are on the hook for their nearly $200,000 price tag.
I agree with the accepting the settlement. I do, 100%. The issues that I have is the fact that basically no matter how you slice it, it's you and me and the taxpayers of the city of Pineville that's paying this tab.
Villar recommended the council agree to the settlement. He says going to trial would be way costlier. The council voted to introduce an ordinance to appropriate funds to resolve the claims filed by Michelle. The city voted unanimously on that agenda item and says they want to put this dark chapter behind them.
It's good for the citizens, the city, and the employees here in the city of Pineville. And to move Pineville forward, we have to do this.
So what the council voted on tonight was an introduction to the ordinance. At the next city council meeting, they either vote to approve or deny it after making sure all the legal documentation is in order. And based on what you just heard from Mayor Joe Bishop, it's likely the city will. Former Pineville Mayor Rich Dupree cannot be reached for comment. Johnny.